He's a genius. He can do special things with the football.
Ball still in there. Pulisic! Yeah! Hat-trick!
This one drops in! And forget away!
Golazo! Golazo! Golazo!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the soccer show on SleepyHollowRadio.com. I'm Kevin Aguirre, joined by Aidan Ballard, and we got a lot to talk to you in this fourth episode of the soccer show. Right now, we're going to discuss the Premier League. Aidan,
Yes, let's jump right into the Premier League as Aston Villa finally drops points in a 3-0 defeat to newly promoted Leeds United.
This game was crazy. I did not expect this result. I think Aston Villa were going to maintain their 100% win record in the Premier League, but unfortunately, all things must come to an end.
An absolute shocker. It wasn't just Leeds dominated that game. 3-0.
Absolutely.
Patrick Bamford got his first Premier League hat-trick.
You can call him hat-trick Bamford after that game. Nice sense of humor there. But Leeds, they managed to win without Liam Cooper, their star center back, as well as Calvin Phillips, their star central midfielder. But, with this Leeds team, I don't think they can do anything.
And it's like, it kind of poses the question that, can Aston Villa rebound from this, or is that start just almost a fluke?
I believe this is the start of a sort of downfall for Aston Villa. It depends if they learn from their mistakes from that Leeds game, they could bounce up. But from what I see now, I don't see them bouncing back up to the top.
Defensively, they looked extremely weak, and they just couldn't get anything going on attack. Only 4 shots on goal compared to Leeds' 9 on goal.
Emi Martinez for Aston Villa, the goalkeeper, I think he's done very well since the start of the season. He's made a massive impact. He's had quite a few saves against Leeds, but wasn't enough to keep the clean sheet or tie.
This newly promoted Leeds team could potentially even make Champions League if they keep playing how they've been playing.
Yeah, we could see them joining the Europa League as well, like Leicester City did last season. But now Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 2. This is a Fulham team who continue to look weak, and this is I don't think this is anything new. Fulham,
this game is no surprise for anyone.
Yeah.
Fulham has been by far the weakest team in the Premier League.
What's the point of getting promoted to a top division league, even though you're going to do poorly and you're going to get relegated?
It's difficult.
This happened in the 2018-19 season when we thought Fulham was going to be pretty good, but no, they made some few signings. They haven't done anything in terms of managerial positions, but it's the same Fulham that I strongly believe that they're going to get relegated.
Just comparing them to what Leeds did and how when Leeds got promoted into the Premier League, the amount of signings Leeds was making was absurd.
Oh, definitely.
And that kind of that's a big step. It's once you get promoted, signing players that can improve your squad to stay in the Premier League. Because what's the whole point of trying to get into the Premier League if you don't want to stay? That's where you got to fully invest. The signing Rodrigo improved that team tremendously, and Fulham wasn't able to sign any good superstars that were able to keep them over.
Yeah, Fulham signed Areola. They signed Kenny Tete from Lyon. They've signed Mario Lemina, and it's a team that it seems as though they've made some good signings. They've made some signings permanent from loan before, and it's the same. I wouldn't technically say the same Fulham, but in terms of players from last season, but it's a team that hasn't developed yet.
And then these players have had an amazing impact on this team, have kind of taken leadership, which is difficult. And that you saw against Crystal Palace. Palace absolutely stormed over them.
Yeah, they had a good match, comfortable 2-1 win. Nothing else you can say. Now we're going to Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. This was quite an interesting match.
It was a great game, and although there were no goals scored, credit to both goalkeepers. They played an amazing game.
Yeah, this game went back and forth between each side, and it was, in the end, Edouard Mendy, the new signing for Chelsea, who was man of the match with phenomenal goalkeeping. This guy made
that
quite
save
an
in
impact.
the 80th, I believe, late 80th minute against Marcus Rashford.
Yeah,
where he laid out absolutely amazing.
I saw that curler, and I was like, it has to go in. It has to. But there was Mendy in the goal, and he just stopped it. It was
And that's
amazing.
the difference for what's been for Chelsea this season defensively. I mean, it's like nothing against Kepa, but Kepa would have let one of those in.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say that. And yeah.
You drop a point to a team, now you're getting a little extra point, and you can focus on the attack instead of just having to blame your keeper.
Yeah, now you see how much of an impact Mendy's made to this Chelsea squad. I mean, they have Kepa, they have Willy Caballero. They even have Petr Cech for some reason, who was included in the squad.
It's kind of crazy.
List, and it's crazy, but I mean, Mendy's popping off so far, as well as Edinson Cavani actually made his Manchester United debut against Chelsea, but we didn't see that much action from him. Not the best of debuts.
He had that one touch in the beginning. He tried to put it on goal, but no, he just missed the net, and that was it for Cavani. He kind of just disappeared.
We're moving to Liverpool 2.
Oh, sorry. I just want to talk about one more thing in that game. Let's just discuss that Cesar Azpilicueta.
That is
Harry Maguire when Harry Maguire had his hand around Azpi's neck.
These are like calls. These are like clear fouls that no one, like the ref, not even VAR, the people behind VAR, they don't want to pay attention to. I mean, it's full of controversy. I think that was a foul. Personally,
I think it was a clear foul.
I don't know what VAR are doing. They should have checked that. This is a foul penalty for Chelsea, but no.
Like, it's different if it's a shirt pulling, but he had his arm around his neck and ripped him down. That if that's not a foul, I don't know what is.
Definitely.
And then it was the craziest part about it. A few seconds after that foul, they didn't check that. They chose to check another thing on VAR instead, which was clearly not a foul. They ended up ruling it not a foul.
Yeah. Speaking of VAR errors, we're going to Liverpool 2, Sheffield United 1. This game, it's been pretty balanced, but first 10 minutes of the match, Liverpool concede one goal thanks to a penalty that VAR have appointed, and it wasn't even a penalty, I don't think. This was when Fabinho fouled Sheffield United striker Oliver McBurney outside the penalty box, but VAR gives a penalty.
I don't know what they're doing up there in
this
VAR.
Is ridiculous. You see, like, at first when you see it, it's like, okay, may look inside, maybe look outside the box, but once you see the replay over and over again, you can clearly see that the ball is outside the penalty box, and that's where Fabinho fouls Ollie McBurney. This is a crazy call. I don't think it should have been a penalty.
I just think it's ridiculous how the people who are managing VAR still can't get it right.
This is, it's been a while since they first established VAR, and now it's gone completely berserk. I mean,
who's up there? Is it like a baby?
I'm not sure.
What are they doing up there?
Yeah.
But Liverpool, of course, was able to come back despite playing without Virgil van Dijk and secure the 3 points.
Yep, goals from Firmino and Diogo Jota secured the win for the Reds. Now going to Southampton 2, Everton 0. Goals from James Ward-Prowse and Shea Adams ends Everton's undefeated run in the Premier League after 5 games.
Who expected that?
This is crazy, yeah.
This Everton team did not look like the same team. They were playing very slow and sloppy, which kind of opened up Southampton to them.
Definitely.
And they almost had a third. They had a third goal taken back from offsides. But in that first half, they were playing extremely well.
Well, to be fair, they did miss Richarlison, which is like, I would consider him a somewhat key player for this new Everton squad. You know, I mean, he was suspended from last game against Liverpool when he got that red card. Luca Digne had a pretty awful match. I mean, he saw a red later on, and yeah, it was a terrible night for Everton.
It was just rough, and kind of just you beg the question: is Southampton, are they able to make a run? I mean, 3-3 draw to Chelsea, 2-0 win over Everton.
They look pretty solid now. I mean, this team could do bits, especially for big teams.
They could play for potentially the Europa League and make a run there.
Yeah. Well, next up, Wolves 1, Newcastle United 1. Pretty normal, typical match. 1-1 went both sides. Raul Jimenez scored and Murphy for Newcastle. Arsenal 0, Leicester City 1. I don't think anyone expected this. I mean, maybe even a tie. You could see that coming, but I did not expect Leicester to win away at Arsenal.
Leicester's starting to kind of find their stride again. I mean, Vardy had that was a nice goal, bringing him on.
Definitely. And the new signing from Roma on loan, Cengiz Under, helped contribute that goal with that assist to Jamie Vardy. And this was crazy, especially like in the 80th minute.
See,
I did not accept
an 80th
them.
minute goal.
Yeah.
And Leicester, I mean, their attack, they only had 2 shots on goal the whole game. Only 6 shots total. They kind of just found it at the end and took advantage.
Yep.
Which was well done by Vardy. Let's discuss the West Ham Manchester City as Manchester City continues to struggle.
Yeah, I think, West Ham as well. They struggled in the first 2 games of the season, but I think they picked themselves up and they know what they're doing now. I mean, they defeated Leicester 3-0 at the King Power Stadium. They tied against Tottenham with that last-minute goal from Manu Lanzini, and now they tied against Manchester City. I think there's more bits for West Ham to do. I mean, their next game is against Liverpool. We could see them do more.
And last year, everyone was expecting West Ham to do so well and even make a run for the Europa League after all of their new signings. They kind of just flopped, but maybe this year, they figured it out.
Yeah, they definitely flopped. I mean, they flopped before. It's like for the past few seasons now, they've been like all caught up with like relegation battles. I mean, there's people saying, "Oh, West Ham are going to get relegated this season," but I don't see it happening. And like for a couple more years, they've made some decent signings: Koufal from Slavia Prague, Craig Dawson from Watford, and Said Benrahma, the Algerian superstar from the Championship last season, who was transferred on from Brentford.
And what seems to be the problem with Manchester City?
I personally, I don't know. I mean, I would say it's because of Gabriel Jesus, but it's not relevant now. But I think it's just typical like problems for Manchester City.
Because it seems in the Champions League they can play, but when it comes to the Premier League, they've continued to struggle.
Definitely, it's really weird. I don't know. I mean, this is the Premier League. I mean, anything can happen. I really did expect though Manchester City to win here against West Ham, but obviously that wasn't the case. They did tie, and yeah.
They have a lot to think about Pep Guardiola if he can rally this club back.
Yep. Brighton won, West Brom won. Not too much from that game. Burnley 0, Tottenham 1. Son, who is on fire, by the way, won't stop scoring goals. Son and Kane, they link up once again to score, and they've combined for their 29th Premier League goals like together. Only Didier Drogba and Frank Lampard have a better duo goal scoring tally. This is
the Chelsea
insane.
Legends.
Yeah, this is insane. I mean, to have Son and Harry Kane behind them is incredible.
That was definitely a scary game for Tottenham as Burnley outshot them, and they were kind of Tottenham was struggling to find a way through and to find a goal, and they finally got it at the end. Great goal by Son.
So let me ask you this, Aidan. Who do you think is the best team currently in the Premier League?
I'm going to have to go with the former champions. I'm going to say Liverpool. Although Liverpool did lose to Aston Villa earlier in the year and have lost Van Dijk, it seems like this team has continued to battle their way back into wins with a 2-1 win over Sheffield, and against that Everton, they won that game.
Yeah, that no doubt. Yeah. For me, I don't see a clear like best team as of now. I think that because every team has like drew a game, they've lost. It's like anything can go from here. You could see Aston Villa going back to the top. You can see Liverpool, Everton, who's already in the top. Sorry, Leicester City, Tottenham, Leeds, all of them. They've been phenomenal. I mean, not like best where like their winning streak is 100%. But I mean, for me, I don't have a clear, if that makes sense. I don't have a clear like winner as to who is the best right now.
As you've said, like, well, Arsenal, their 2004 team that went the only undefeated team ever. They're celebrating early. After Everton's loss, everyone's been beaten once. Which is it kind of just shows with like the pandemic how like form is out the window, home form's out the window, and how it doesn't matter if you're home or away, no fans. It's the same game, and anyone can lose at any time.
Yeah, and so like we saw last season when we thought Liverpool were gonna go throughout the whole season being invincible and undefeated. There comes Watford, snatches that game, and they just went 3-0, and everything like changes for Liverpool, and it was crazy. I believe it was before lockdown.
Before lockdown, then once lockdown started, like didn't matter if you're playing home or away.
Yeah.
Anyone's game.
So next week's Premier League games of the week predictions: Manchester United, Arsenal. First of all, who do you think Aidan's gonna win between that match?
I see Manchester United winning this game. I just think Arsenal has been struggling to find who they are and their sense of identity. Yes, they've had new signings, but it seems like they haven't kind of found who they are as a team. Manchester United, yes, they scored 0 last week against Chelsea, but there were plenty of opportunities to score. Just Mendy kept them out of the net. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Manchester United win.
I'm gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna predict the same thing happening between that Manchester United Chelsea game. I'm gonna say, well, not 0-0 this time. I'm gonna say 1-1. I think it's gonna be a fair game, both sides going at it. I think Bukayo Saka from Arsenal is gonna have a good match. I think 1-1. I'm gonna say Rashford to score, and for Arsenal, Aubameyang.
I like that. Let's talk about the next game, Leicester versus Leeds.
This game definitely will go either way. I mean, both look pretty, like, you could see Leicester winning, you could see Leeds winning. They're both on fire right now. But I do see this Leeds team doing a bit more better just because they've been a joy to watch so far in the Premier League.
This Leeds team's been playing with passion, and I'm going to say I think Leeds will dominate. I think either team that wins this game, it'll be a dominating game. I'm going to say 2-0 Leeds.
Depends, though, because Leicester, if they don't play without Jamie Vardy in the starting 11, they will play like they played against Arsenal and against West Ham, where they lost badly. So I'm going to go with Leeds United. I'm going to say 2-0 Leeds United.
2-0, we have the same prediction. Yeah. We think Leeds, this newly relegated side, will continue to dominate in the Premier League. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back discussing the Champions League and Europe's top 4 leagues.
And welcome back to the Soccer Show on SleepyHollowRadio.com, where as of now we will discuss the top 4 league leaders and who do we think will be on top.
So the top 4 right now in the Premier League: Everton; in the German Bundesliga, RB Leipzig; in Serie A, Italians League, Milan; and in La Liga Santander, Real Sociedad. Kevin, I'm going to ask you, this year with the whole pandemic and no fans, it's been the most unpredictable year of soccer we've had. So of these 4 teams who are currently leading, which one has the best chance to maintain the title?
I honestly think, I don't think it's Everton. I don't think it's Real Sociedad. I'm down between Leipzig and Milan. I know for Leipzig, they've been, like, ever since getting promoted to the Bundesliga in 2016-17, they've been on top. They haven't been, like, down. It's always been top, at least top 10, like in the top half of the Bundesliga table. I think, and they've had a magnificent Champions League run last year. They're doing so well this season. Although they've lost Timo Werner, their main star player, they've made some signings. I don't know if you could call them like replacements, like complete replacements, but you know, you got Alexander Sorloth, you've got Hwang Hee-chan, Benjamin Hendricks. I mean, this team, it's like completely, not, I wouldn't say completely renovated, but somewhat new. As for Milan, I think Milan, I want to see them succeed. I want to see them back in the Champions League. I don't know about you, Aidan. I think it's been too long since we last seen AC Milan in the Champions League, especially with a Zlatan who won't stop scoring goals at 39 years of age. This is pretty impressive. I think, for me, I can't decide between Leipzig and Milan.
I think, I definitely agree with that. Milan has come out of nowhere. Who would have expected a 38-year-old Zlatan Ibrahimovic to be that good?
Yeah, this is crazy.
In Italy. That is absurd. And I don't see how they can slow down. I mean, We'll wait and see, because once Juventus gets Ronaldo back from COVID, we'll see if Juventus can keep up. But so far, Milan has dominated that league.
Definitely. I mean, they beat Inter 2-1. They beat Celtic in the Europa League 3-1. They did tie though 3-3 against Roma, but I think this Milan team is they should just keep doing what they're doing as of now, and maybe we could see them win a Serie A title. I may doubt it, because I think Juventus will be
back
with the comeback, and they will. Yeah,
I think what it comes down to for both these teams is, when it comes to playing the rivals, it's like, I think Milan's capable of beating Juventus.
Oh yeah, 100%, definitely. I think yeah, Milan. I mean, with Zlatan, they have Ante Rebic, they have Çalhanoğlu, they have so many good players in their squad who really can make a difference, and they can greatly impact the team. They could, who knows? We could see, instead of actually going to win, place top 4 in the Serie A, we could see this Milan team win the Europa League, and that could send them to Champions League the year after. So who knows?
I think the problem with Leipzig, it's not them, it's that they have to go against Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think
who is the strongest team in Europe.
Bayern is one. It's they're so scary. They're they're gladiators. The whole team are gladiators. It's crazy.
And I think Leipzig's very good. I don't think they can beat Bayern Munich.
I agree with that. I think, however, I can see Leipzig place another Champions League.
They can definitely place Champions League.
Yeah.
But it's to beat Bayern. If you can beat Bayern Munich, then you deserve to win German Bundesliga. But until that point comes, I don't think they're ready for that.
Yeah. As for Everton and Real Sociedad, I do see them somewhat flopping. I mean, these are two teams that, for Everton, they're not in any European competition this year, but for Real Sociedad, they are in the Europa League, and they did just win 1-0 last week. And this Real Sociedad team looks pretty interesting with David Silva, their newest signing,
and I just
popping off.
Think with La Liga right now, it's both teams, Real Madrid and Barcelona, are trying to find their identity. They don't really know where they're at right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. These two big Spanish giants are not doing, they're not performing as well as they used to, in the start of every season.
So if it's the year, this would be the year that Sociedad can make a push for the title.
Yeah.
But it's still very difficult, especially with Madrid only 1 point behind them.
Definitely. As for Everton, I mean, they did tie against Liverpool. It's a good result for Everton to tie against Liverpool, but they did lose against Southampton. If you have key players like Luca Digne, Richarlison getting suspended, you have other players getting injured, it's not going to be the same as when they first started the season on fire. And yeah, I definitely see them flopping.
It will be about how they bounce back from that.
Yeah.
Let's discuss Champions League's results from Tuesday.
So,
Lokomotiv Moscow 1, Bayern Munich 2. Bayern Munich has continued to dominate and just prove why.
Absolutely.
They deserve to be right back in that Champions League final. Shakhtar Donetsk 0, Inter 0. When we saw this group, we thought, Real Madrid, Inter, they should win this group pretty easily. Donetsk has proven people wrong.
I think this Ukrainian side is definitely an underrated team. I mean, you've seen what they've done against Real Madrid and Inter. They've caused problems with Inter. Borussia, we are yet to see them play against Borussia Mönchengladbach, but I think Shakhtar, they're gonna. I think they might.
And
they have a good chance of going to the round of 16.
So many players out because of COVID, and they're still finding ways to tie and beat some of the best teams in Europe.
Definitely.
We see them in the round of 16.
I think, personally, my opinion, I think Inter will just either place third or fourth. I don't see them progressing to the round of 16. For Borussia Mönchengladbach, I mean, maybe fourth place. Not too sure, but Shakhtar, definitely, they're doing good so far.
Definitely impressive for them. Atalanta 2, Ajax 2. That game was crazy. And an amazing comeback for them.
You saw Ajax go 2-0 up, and then out of nowhere, Duvan Zapata with the brace. The Colombian scores 2 goals, and boom, just like that, it's 2-2. for the Italian side. Atletico Madrid, 3-2 against Salzburg.
Yes, that game was kind of João Felix is coming into his own in La Liga. He's starting to really play at an extremely high level.
Yep, the Salzburg team was also looking pretty good, especially scoring 2 goals away at the Wanda Metropolitano. I mean,
definitely, and Madrid they made a run last year. They could definitely make a run again. Always a consistent team in the Champions League.
Definitely. So now Borussia Mönchengladbach 2, Real Madrid 2. This game was pretty interesting. I did not expect to see the German side up 2-0 against a team like Real Madrid, but like Real Madrid, they start off poor in this season's Champions League, and however Real Madrid have made their substitutions, and just like that, it's 2-2. Incredible comeback. I did hear some reports, however, saying that Benzema apparently did not want to pass the ball to Vinicius Jr., which is it's suspicious.
It's a bad look for Madrid right now, and
yeah.
I don't know if the media was manipulating that statement or not, but
yeah,
it seems like this Real Madrid team has no idea what they are doing. They've only 1 point in 2 games in the Champions League. There's a chance that they might not make it out of the group stage.
Who knows? I mean, if they keep performing like this, there's definitely no hope for round of 16 playing. So next up, Porto 2, Olympiacos 0. A good, comfortable victory for Porto. Liverpool 2, Midtjylland 0. Bad news for Liverpool fans as Fabinho is now injured and he's left the pitch after 30 minutes of playing. So this means no Fabinho at center back, no Van Dijk at center back. It's really devastating news, and you know, if this team can still manage to beat other rivals, I think this would be pretty amazing. But as I see it now, this team will struggle without those.
And they were so excited. They finally they were like, oh, we found a suitable, somewhat. No one can replace Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, I think because Fabinho was getting so comfortable in that center back position. I mean, we're used to seeing him playing CDM, but he dropped back for that central defense just because Virgil van Dijk is injured and will be out for the rest of the season. But now that he's gone, it's gonna lead to more problems.
And now Matip has to step in, and Gomez and Matip have to play well, and that's a young back line with Arnold as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're all gonna have to step up for this team, but I think that attack will still be extremely strong.
Yeah.
And help them.
Yeah, this team has always found ways to win despite these losses, and I think, they're gonna be successful.
And with Alisson's return, he'll help the team even more.
Yeah. Marseille 0, Manchester City 3. This is a dominant performance from the English side. Nothing pretty much to say. I mean, Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Ferran Torres are all on fire as of now, and they're doing good in the Champions League. Extremely
impressive for them. And speaking of some news about the Champions League, yesterday, for Barcelona, big news for them, Josep Maria Bartomeu has resigned as the Barcelona president, as well as the whole board.
This is a massive move, considering the drama between the board and Messi, and him trying to leave the club. This is good news for Messi. I mean, we've known for several months now that he's had issues with Bartomeu. He's had issues with the whole board. He wanted some changes originally, but they're like, no, you have to stay in this club. He was basically being forced by his will to stay in Barcelona. So does this mean, this most likely means Messi will stay a couple more years in Barcelona, maybe not.
Potentially. They got to turn it around this season.
Definitely.
If this team is not winning a title, I'd say Messi wants out.
Yeah, for Bartomeu, for the whole board, they need to find replacements. And is it possible to see, with a brand new board, is it possible to see the Barcelona we used to see back then with trebles, with Champions League trophies, with La Liga titles, with all that? They were being one of the best teams, absolute dominators, we see Bayern Munich.
I think if the owner is smart of Barcelona, he needs to hire a president that is going to work with Messi.
Definitely.
That will do what Messi wants, because right now the goal is to do whatever possible to keep Messi at the club.
Definitely. And it's kind of it was a good move from Barcelona I mean, they just came back from a dreadful weekend. They lost to Real Madrid 3-1 in El Clasico. I mean, Ansu Fati looked sharp, but yet again, it was the penalty by VAR which was allowed, and then it was that goal from Luka Modric. This Barca team looked devastated after the final whistle, and it's good that they make these changes. Like, they got rid of Bartomeu, they got rid of the whole board. They want to start fresh.
It's good that they want to start fresh for them, and because Bartomeu just ruined Messi.
Yeah.
That was just an ugly situation, and he finally left after pressure from everyone. He says he resigned, but he would have been fired.
He would have been
very
fired,
soon.
Definitely.
He would have been sacked.
And now, speaking of, we're going to be talking about the U.S. men's and women's national team in review. We've got Tyler Adams from RB Leipzig helping the German team with first in the Bundesliga, 1 point above Bayern Munich. Christian Pulisic against Manchester United, he played. He's slowly returning back to his old form, like how he used to be last season. He had a few shots, but it seems like he's getting close to being 100%.
Yeah, like after his injury in the FA Cup against Arsenal, he came back finally, and he hasn't been the same Christian Pulisic that we remembered from the summer. 'Cause during the summer, he was unstoppable.
Definitely, I think the loads of signings that Chelsea may have had like a sort of negative impact for Pulisic, but I mean, if he's getting playing time, if he's gonna be back in the starting 11,
and Lampard finally put him on the left wing for the first time against Manchester United. And although he didn't score, he was definitely playing with a lot more pace, attacking towards the goal. He had 2 shots, one was deflected, and the other one he just didn't get as much power as he wanted with his weak foot. But if he continues to drive to the goal like we remembered he can dribble past anyone and go back to his dominant form.
Yep. And another American on the rise, Serginho Dest from Barcelona. He's had, I don't know about anyone, but I believe he's had a wonderful match against Real Madrid. And I think he was looking very solid. He had Vinicius in his back pocket. He was looking sharp.
He's the only bright spot at Barcelona right now, unfortunately. But it's good to see an American playing at Barcelona. And although they're struggling, he's playing at an extremely high level for them.
He's had a lot of dribbles. He completed a lot of dribbles. He had won the most duels in the match. I think it's a bright future for Serginho Dest. Bright move so far from Ajax. And I mean, hopefully he'll be able to learn some Spanish, because I did recall after the game there was an interview where a reporter tried to ask him a question in Spanish and he was like, no, sorry, English.
He'll get better.
It was just funny.
It's a learning experience. Hopefully we'll see a first American win a La Liga title. That'd be cool to see.
Yeah. Weston McKennie, who tested positive for COVID-19 a while back, is tested negative now, and he can finally rejoin his teammates in Turin for Juventus. And we'll see him play against Barcelona.
That'll be exciting to see. I mean, he was, unfortunately, they just announced that he's ruled out for Barcelona, but he'll be back soon, ready to help his club. Young 22-year-old, he'll be good for the club.
Yeah, devastating.
It was devastating to have that, to get COVID, obviously, but he's battled through it and he's back, ready to go.
Yeah, Ronaldo also had COVID and he will miss that game against Barcelona. So the only other time we'll be able to see Messi against Ronaldo for the last time will probably be in December when the Barca and Juventus play for the second leg.
He's a genius. He can do special things with the football.
Ball still in there. Pulisic! Hat-trick!
This one drops in. And forget away.
Golazo! Golazo!